As I said, as I came here today and I've had an opportunity to interface with many of you, there is a lot of energy in the room and a lot of excitement for what's ahead. And I think that that is completely aligned with the way we look at things at General Motors.
Every GM dealership is about to be shut down, and the automotive industry is gearing up for some unprecedented changes, and the news is electrifying, to say the least. In a shocking announcement, GM's CEO Mary Barra revealed a bold new strategy that not only redefines how cars are sold, but also threatens to upend the entire dealership model. Many are left wondering what will happen to the dealerships that have been integral to the automotive landscape. Why is GM making such a bold move? What does this mean to the dealership, and how will this affect car prices? A new era. For decades, dealerships have been the lifeblood of GM's sales strategy. They've operated as the primary channel through which countless vehicles change hands each year. This face-to-face interaction has long been the cornerstone of the car buying experience, a personal touch that many consumers both value and depend upon. But things are shifting, and not in a good way for the dealerships. Now, GM's bold decision to cut out the middleman is not just about streamlining the buying process. It's a leap into a realm of convenience that was once relegated to dreams. Think about it. No more wandering through showrooms, no more pressure from sales staff. You will soon have the opportunity to purchase your vehicle directly from the manufacturer with just a few clicks from your couch. But what's driving this drastic shift? You are probably wondering why such a bold move is on the table. Well, let me explain. But before we jump into the details, don't forget to smash that like button and hit subscribe. You won't want to miss what's coming up. GM's bold leap. When it comes to the car buying experience, GM is on a mission to revolutionize it from the ground up. Let's face it, the traditional dealership model can feel like navigating a labyrinth filled with high-pressure sales tactics and confusing hidden costs. Not exactly a relaxing Saturday outing, right? That's why GM is jumping headfirst into a direct-to-consumer model. This shift is not just a tweak, it's a complete overhaul designed to provide customers with a seamless experience that's both transparent and user-friendly. Imagine a world where you can browse for your dream car, customize every feature, and complete your purchase, all from the comfort of your own home. With GM's direct-to-consumer approach, gone are the days of feeling overwhelmed by aggressive salespeople hovering over your shoulder. Instead, you'll have the freedom to explore options at your own pace, making informed decisions without the pressure that often clouds the traditional buying experience. This new way of shopping aligns perfectly with what modern consumers desire: clarity, flexibility, and a lack of unnecessary complications. So how else does this change affect us as consumers? The consumer revolution. One of the most significant perks of this revolutionary model is lower prices. Without the burden of dealerships marking up prices to cover their overhead costs, GM has the freedom to offer vehicles at far more competitive rates. That means you could potentially save thousands of dollars simply by purchasing your car directly from GM instead of going through a traditional dealership. And here's the kicker: with transparent pricing, there's no need to engage in that uncomfortable conversation of haggling or negotiating. What you see is exactly what you pay. No tricks, no hidden costs, just straightforward pricing. But wait, there's more. Let's talk about convenience, because it's a massive advantage as well. Think about all the hours wasted at a dealership waiting for someone to assist you or enduring the dull back and forth. Thanks to this new model, you can now browse models, customize your vehicle, and finalize your purchase completely online. It's fast, efficient, and a million times less stressful than dealing with a traditional dealership. For those of us who thrive on online shopping, this is a monumental win. Now let's dive into customization. In the old days, when you visited a dealership, your options were often limited to whatever was sitting on the lot collecting dust. But with direct sales, you have the power to order a vehicle tailored specifically to your tastes and requirements. Want a specific color that screams you? Go for it. Have your heart set on the ultimate tech features. They're just a few clicks away. You'll have unprecedented control over the details of your car, and that's something exciting to consider. However, let's not ignore potential downsides, because there are a few to mull over. One major concern is the absence of in-person interaction. With no dealerships, you lose that crucial opportunity to test drive cars before making a significant financial commitment. For many buyers, this could be a deal breaker, a hesitation that's hard to shake. GM will need to step up. They might have to offer alternatives like virtual test drives, comprehensive online reviews, or even flexible return policies to effectively alleviate these concerns. Then there's the big question of after-sales support. Historically, dealerships have been our go-to spots for everything from from routine maintenance to repairs and warranty services. So how does GM plan to tackle this gap? They'll need to create new networks of service centers or perhaps collaborate with third-party repair shops to ensure customers get the ongoing support they deserve after purchasing a vehicle. This focus on service is critical for maintaining customer satisfaction and building trust. Now, you might be wondering, why would they go all out for us? So let's dig deeper and talk about the hidden controversies lurking just beneath the glossy exterior of this direct sales model: data. This new shift isn't just about changing how they sell cars. It's also about unlocking a treasure trove of invaluable customer data that can propel them into the future. Imagine a world where GM doesn't just guess what you want, they actually know. By establishing a direct line of communication with their buyers, GM is taking the guesswork out of the equation, diving deep into the details that shape consumer preferences. This newfound ability to collect and analyze data about customers is a game changer. It allows GM to explore intricate details regarding what drives your purchasing decisions. Instead of being shrouded in mystery, they can observe trends and patterns in vehicle customizations, tech features you might be eyeing, and the kinds of vehicles that capture your interest. This is not just a bunch of numbers crammed into a spreadsheet, it's an entire playbook of insights waiting to be tapped into. These insights open the door to developing targeted marketing strategies, refining vehicle designs, and delivering personalized services that truly resonate with what customers desire. Let's think about what could happen if GM identifies a substantial number of buyers gravitating towards specific technological features. Picture this: if they notice that many of you are all about integrating cutting-edge infotainment systems or are enamored with advanced safety features, they have the power to pivot rapidly. GM can showcase these in-demand features in their upcoming models as they create a lineup that speaks directly to consumer interests. This rapid responsiveness not only keeps their offerings fresh, but also positions GM as a forward-thinking company that is in tune with the evolving preferences of today's consumers. This means that when you walk into a GM dealership, if you still decide to do so, you might just find the latest and greatest features that you didn't even know you needed. Imagine tailored marketing campaigns designed with your specific interests in mind, perhaps even loyalty programs that genuinely reward your commitment to the GM brand. This isn't just wishful thinking, it's a strategic initiative aimed at embedding customers deep within the GM ecosystem. It fosters a sense of brand loyalty that extends well beyond that initial purchase. Now, let's dive into an equally important aspect of this new sales model: the enhancement of personalized customer service. In the past, car buyers often found themselves at the mercy of the dealerships for support that usually lingered long after the paperwork was signed. However, with this innovative direct sales approach, GM is stepping up to redefine customer interaction. They aim to be your go-to for support, bridging the gap that once existed with dealerships. Imagine being able to engage in lively, informative online chats with knowledgeable representatives who understand your needs, or having responsive phone support at your disposal. Not to mention, the integration of virtual assistants powered by artificial intelligence can take customer service to new heights. These advancements transform the customer experience, making it more engaging and responsive than ever before. GM is not just selling you a car, they're creating a full-fledged relationship that lasts long after the initial sale. Looking ahead, the future indeed appears bright for GM as they lean into this data-driven, customer-centric model that seems poised to revolutionize the auto industry. They're not just operating on a conventional sales framework, they're embracing change and anticipating customer needs in real time. However, it's crucial to address one significant concern that may get overshadowed by all the positivity: the implications of data collection beyond transactions. Now, let's be honest, this newfound ability to gather data from consumers does raise a few eyebrows. You might recall the fiery discussions in Congress where lawmakers confronted major tech companies about their data collection methods. If the government is keen on scrutinizing tech giants, you can bet that the automotive industry will come under the microscope as well. And let's face it, do any of us particularly enjoy the idea of being spied on? Every time you hop into your car, there's a nagging thought that lingers at the back of your mind. Who's watching? What are they recording? The notion can feel unsettling. After all, we all deserve a certain level of privacy, right? But what are the alternatives if that becomes the only path to purchasing your next vehicle or accessing crucial automotive services? While the prospect of data collection can potentially pave the way for tailored marketing and personalized services, it also opens the door to additional concerns about privacy and surveillance. As we march deeper into the era of technology and data exchange, it's essential to navigate these waters carefully. It's all about striking a balance between what can potentially elevate your purchase experience and protecting your privacy as a consumer. Transitioning to a direct-to-consumer model isn't merely a change in how cars are sold, it's a complete overhaul of the entire manufacturing process itself. You might wonder how this affects everything, from logistics to the intricacies of supply chains, not to mention the costs involved. Let's dive into what this really means for GM and the auto industry at large. Logistical operations. Picture this. Instead of flooding the market with vehicles that are then sent to dealerships, GM is gearing up to implement a revolutionary build-to-order model. This approach means that cars will be manufactured in direct response to customer orders rather than being produced in bulk and left to languish unsold on dealership lots. This is a game changer for the auto industry, bringing production and consumer demand into perfect alignment while significantly minimizing waste throughout the entire process. The benefits of this new strategy are extensive and impossible to overlook. First off, it drastically reduces the risk of overproduction. We've all seen it before. The unfortunate sight of shiny new vehicles sitting unsold for months, collecting dust on dealership lots until they become last season's leftovers. By adopting a build-to-order system, GM ensures that every car rolling off the assembly line has a specific buyer waiting for it. Think about it. This not only cuts down on those pesky inventory costs, but also lessens the need for deep discounts that dealerships routinely resort to just to move old stock. This approach marks a smarter, more efficient use of resources, striking a harmonious balance between materials and production capacities as they respond to the actual market demands facing manufacturers today. But let's not stop there. It's not merely about tidying up excess inventory or slashing costs. This build-to-order model ushers in an era of customization that today's consumers are clamoring for. The past few decades have often left car buyers faced with a monotonous selection of basic options, but those days are fading fast. Now, customers have the power to curate their own vehicles, selecting the exact features, colors, and options that speak to their personalities and lifestyles. It's all about creating a ride that feels uniquely theirs, which not only boosts engagement, but also catapults customer satisfaction to exhilarating new heights. This kind of personalized buying experience generates a deep-rooted sense of loyalty among buyers, leading them to stick with a brand that takes the time to deliver a product meticulously tailored to their desires. The implications of these changes extend far beyond just the mechanics of manufacturing and sales. Think about the impact on the entire automotive supply chain. By synchronizing up production with actual orders, GM can streamline its logistics in a way we've rarely seen before. This means fewer parts sitting idly in warehouses, waiting to be assembled into cars that may or may not find buyers. Instead, each component can flow through the system directly to assembly lines, tailored to match specific orders, resulting in an agile process that adapts to real-time consumer needs. Furthermore, as GM continues to hone its supply chain operations, there's a significant opportunity to reduce its carbon footprint. With a build-to-order approach, manufacturers are less likely to waste materials or resources, which is not only cost-effective but also friendly to the environment. By producing only what is necessary, all while reducing the excess and waste generated in traditional auto manufacturing, GM could take a significant step towards sustainability. This isn't just good for the planet, it's a compelling selling point for consumers who are increasingly making buying decisions based on a company's environmental impact. Navigating the new frontier. Managing the logistics of nationwide vehicle delivery. For GM, that's no small hurdle. Imagine a world where dealerships aren't serving as local distribution hubs. It throws a wrench in the entire operation. To tackle this head on, GM's got to carve out a strategy that doesn't just deliver cars, but does so with pinpoint precision and timing. The potential game changers on the table. Collaborating with third-party logistics firms is one option. Alternatively, they could pivot and create an in-house delivery system. system, custom crafted to make sure every car transitions seamlessly from the manufacturing line to the eager customer's driveway. This isn't just a logistical exercise, it's a meticulous balancing act that requires serious planning and execution to ensure every vehicle arrives on schedule and in perfect condition. Now, let's dive into warehousing and storage, an often overlooked but crucial aspect of the delivery puzzle. Sure, GM's build-to-order system significantly reduces the need for bulky inventories. Think of it like Amazon's streamlined efficiency. But here's the kicker: GM still needs a handful of cars primed for immediate purchase, waiting to thrill the next customer who walks through the door. It's all about finding that sweet spot between fulfilling custom orders and maintaining stock that's readily available. If GM leans too heavily towards storing excess vehicles, those storage costs skyrocket unnecessarily. On the flip side, skimping on inventory could lead to frustrated customers left twiddling their thumbs for weeks, yearning for their dream car. But wait, there's more. Investing in digital capabilities isn't just a box-ticking operation, it's a forward-thinking maneuver. As technology advances at lightning speed and customer preferences shift like the wind, GM's dedication to building a robust digital infrastructure is not just important, it's absolutely essential. If we zoom out and take in the grander landscape, it becomes clear. Without this investment, the company risks falling behind. They're not just keeping up with the status quo, they're preparing for an evolving future where adaptability is the name of the game. But what about the dealers? As General Motors transitions toward a direct-to-consumer sales model, the implications for traditional dealerships are significant, almost monumental. This shift doesn't just tweak a few roles, it completely reshapes the landscape of vehicle sales and service. So what does this mean for dealerships? Let's break it down step by step. Let's talk about the reduced role in sales. With GM embracing this new direct-to-consumer model, the conventional function of dealerships as the primary sales outlets is taking a back seat. Imagine walking into a dealership in the near future and finding it transformed. Instead of being bustling hubs where deals are struck and cars are sold, these dealerships might just become support centers for after-sale services. Picture the scene. Customers get their new vehicles directly from GM, bypassing the dealership for the initial purchase entirely. Instead, those showrooms will likely focus on service, repairs, and customer support, essentially becoming a service-oriented business model rather than a sales-driven one. Next up is the potential transition to an agency model, which some dealership owners may need to embrace. In this evolving scenario, dealerships will act as intermediaries that facilitate sales without holding inventory themselves. Think of them as brokers who connect customers with GM's inventory instead of being the middlemen selling cars off their lot. This radical shift means that dealers would earn commissions on sales rather than profiting from marked up vehicle prices, an essential change that fundamentally alters their traditional business practices. This shift to an agency model could cause quite the stir, as many dealers have long been accustomed to the conventional franchise system that rewards them for holding inventory. But what happens when a business model is upended? You can bet there will be a fair bit of resistance. Some dealerships might push back against the idea of moving away from the franchise system they know and love. Understandably, this is a drastic transformation for many who have built their livelihoods on the current model, and they may not go down without a fight. Now, let's address financial viability concerns. For countless dealerships, new car sales serve as the bait to lure customers into showrooms, where they're incentivized to sell more profitable services, like repairs and financing. When new car sales take a hit, those invitations dwindle, and showrooms may face a tough time attracting customers. With fewer new cars being sold, many dealerships might find themselves grappling with significant financial challenges that could result in closures or drastic downsizing. It's sobering to think that many beloved dealerships could be on shaky ground. The thought of them shuttering their doors is a grim reality in a rapidly changing environment. As sales decline and businesses tighten their belts, this shakeup in sales could have a domino effect, threatening the viability of many dealerships that once thrived in the traditional auto sales landscape. So what can dealers do to survive and thrive in this shifting terrain? Adaptation is the name of the game. Dealerships will need to up their game by enhancing service offerings, exploring strategies to keep business flowing, and perhaps focusing more on used vehicles or specialized services tailored to electric vehicles. We're living in a time where the market is increasingly leaning toward electrification. There's no denying it. This shift may even require significant investments in not only training staff, but upgrading infrastructure to support these services. Legal issues. With aspirations to reshape how cars are sold in this digital age, GM is likely gearing up to navigate the treacherous waters of state laws that offer robust protections to dealerships. As they plan their strategy, you can bet that multiple legal challenges will line up on the horizon, particularly in states where these dealership protection laws are carved in stone. To tackle this predicament head-on, GM will find themselves needing to engage in some serious lobbying efforts. Essentially, they will need to persuade lawmakers that the automotive industry has not only transformed, but that consumers deserve the option to buy directly from the manufacturers. Yes, we're all about options here. Combined with the old-school dealership resistance, GM is stepping into a battleground where dealership associations hold substantial sway over political conversations. These groups will not take kindly to changes that might disrupt the status quo they've safeguarded for years. Imagine trying to tip the scales of an established system where the balance of power has been firmly entrenched. That's precisely what GM faces. The pathway to success looks like it will involve strategic maneuvering that includes building solid alliances with influential policymakers. It's all about demonstrating the upside of direct sales, not just to consumers, but also to the overall marketplace, which can encourage lawmakers to reconsider the existing regulations. One could envision legal strategies that may include negotiating phased implementations or initiating pilot programs that provide the chance to showcase the advantages of these changes while addressing any concerns that arise. Beyond the legal maelstrom, there's another pain point GM will need to confront: consumer hesitance. As the world gradually shifts toward online car buying, an idea that seems revolutionary, it still lacks widespread acceptance. Many prospective buyers still revel in the classic dealership experience. You know the one? The excitement of sitting inside a shiny new vehicle, feeling the leather interior, or taking it for a spin down the street while chatting with an enthusiastic salesperson. The experience feels tactile, personal, and, dare I say, better than window shopping on a website. For GM, meeting this duality of consumer preferences will require more than just a flashy new web platform. It calls for genuine action and thoughtful change. The stakes are incredibly high here. If GM's online platform fails to deliver a user-friendly experience, or worse, if there are hiccups in vehicle deliveries, it could spell disaster for customer satisfaction and brand reputation alike. In this digital age, consumers expect a seamless experience at all points in their interaction. Building a world-class e-commerce platform is no small challenge. In fact, it's akin to assembling a finely tuned engine. Everything from the back-end infrastructure to the customer-facing aspects needs to work like a well-oiled machine from the very first day. Rigorous testing of their digital systems cannot be understated. It's all about ensuring that the platform is ready for action. Even more crucial is the idea of continuous improvement based on customer feedback. Listening to what consumers have to say and evolving based on their experiences is essential to keeping them engaged and satisfied. It's like having your ear to the ground. You need to know what works and what doesn't. And let's not overlook the importance of having contingency plans in place for any unforeseen complications. A little foresight goes a long way when it comes to managing a robust e-commerce strategy. Additionally, let's talk about inventory management and efficient delivery coordination. These elements are critical in meeting consumer expectations in today's fast-paced retail environment. After all, have you ever ordered something online only to have it delayed for weeks? The frustration is real. GM will need to streamline these operations to improve customer satisfaction and keep their audience loyal. Imagine effortlessly tracking your vehicle from the moment it leaves the dealership until it arrives at your front door. A positive buying experience hinges on these finer details, and GM must pay close attention if they want to stay ahead in this game of automotive chess. To wrap this all up, GM's journey toward establishing a direct sales channel will inevitably be peppered with both challenges and opportunities. As they attempt to navigate the labyrinthine laws and consumer preferences, they will have to rely on savvy legal strategies, dynamic relationships with policymakers, and a laser focus on delivering top-notch customer experiences. So what does the future hold? Will they turn the tide and redefine car buying for the modern consumer? The answer to that question remains to be seen, but one thing is crystal clear: it's going to be an exciting ride.